Well, it tells me I'm live. Let me check. I started talking there before the clock started running. I don't even know if you caught the first few words anyway. While I check to see how the audio is sounding, you enjoy the ladies behind me. And of course, happy NFL draft weekend to those who celebrate. Audio sounds good. It's good to be here talking to, well, none of you right now. Anyway, we are live. It is live this week. I know the last one I did was pre-recorded. Then I took a week off, so it's been a while since we've been together. Next week there will be no show. I am going out to the desert, out to the American West to do some camping and some outdoorsy shit. So I'm taking the week off from streaming. I should be back the week after that, but I never know how the schedule looks a few weeks out, especially coming back from a vacation, whatever. So I hope to be back live the following week. In any case, social media, you can find me at Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler, or of course the best place to get at me is here on YouTube in the comments at Mike's Golden Streams, or just search Mike Montone Sacktap Live on YouTube, and hopefully I will pop up. Yes, it's been a couple weeks. I did the marathon is in the rear view. If you remember, I was training for that. That is done. I ran a 4:18, which it's not a not a special time. It's just kind of like, you did it. You did it all right. Not bad. 4:18, which kind of makes sense for the way I trained. I did one long run a week, and then I just cross trained. Like I lifted weights and did like metabolic conditioning circuits with like body weight exercises, as opposed to doing all of the mileage that marathoners traditionally do. So that definitely comes in handy, I would imagine, late in the race if you've got that extra volume built in. But finished nonetheless, and probably faster than some people who did train like that. So that's that. If I ever do one again, then I would probably follow a more traditional marathon training plan, just to see, one, just to see how fast I could actually do it, and two, just to avoid, the last 6-7 miles of the fucking race are not a pleasant experience if you're not used to that kind of thing, especially if you go out. I went out a little quicker than usual, but yeah, that's it. I did it. Got up very early in the morning on Sunday. I guess it was like the 13th. Walked. I think I covered close to 30 miles on foot that day, because I walked down, and then afterwards I walked a mile to go get lunch before I could get to a spot where I could get an Uber to the pizza place. But I walked a few miles down from my apartment to the starting line. Saw a lot of people I know. There are these, before the race, there are just these huge lines of porta potties out on the street, because everybody's carb loading and drinking coffee, and it's early in the morning, and there are like tens of thousands of people, and people use these gel packets, these like chia seed gel packets that make you shit your brains out. So everybody is just there, and they're shitting. And even if you're not shitting, you got to keep going into piss, because everyone's hydrated to the gills. So there is everyone I know. I just saw all these fucking people that I know standing online waiting to excrete bodily fluids into a hole in the ground. So there's a certain comedy to that, especially because like a lot of them are very attractive women who I know from the gym. And the idea that they're all just lined up to shit is very like it's very odd just seeing all these people that that you usually like see at the gym or at a bar around town or something like that. It's like, nope, what are you doing here? We are all waiting to shit. Um, so there's that. Um, there were along the course a lot of pukers. Just be running along every once in a while, and as you get later into the race, there's just people on the side of the course just spilling their fucking guts all over the sidewalk. And then at the finish line, you cross the finish line, and it's like you're like, oh shit, it's done. Like there's this feeling after you cross the finish line when you're like, because before you start it, you're like, I have to run 26 miles. It sounds stupid because it is stupid. In many ways, it's a very stupid thing to do. But you finish and you're like, oh, thank fucking God. Your legs are exhausted. The cardio is not bad. Like you can breathe, no problem. But your legs are just shot, and you want to be off your feet, so you kind of hobble through. And they have this area. They give you your medal, and they give you a bag of fruit and Gatorade and water, and basically you walk through this. It's like the thing they move the cows through when they're going to get fucking prodded in the skull to become burgers. But Goya had a tent set up, and they were giving out like coconut water or some shit. And I don't know if you don't spend a lot of time on the beach, maybe you don't see this, but like beach umbrellas go fucking flying because idiots don't know how to set them up. Like they don't weight them into the ground properly. So if you're at the beach on a windy day, like you'll just see an umbrella go fucking flying. And this happened to be a very windy day. And as I'm coming across the finish line and I'm walking and I just got my bag of apples and bananas and Gatorade, and I see the Goya tent, and it's really more of an annoyance to have all of these tents. Like the entire thing is lined like a fucking Turkish bazaar. Like there's, physical therapists set up over here. They want to put you on the table. And then, who's giving out Gatorade or whatever. It's like in that moment, the only thing you want is to kind of sit down. They have, you check your bag before the race. So you go there at the end of the thing. There's, you can go pick up your bag. So all you want it's like this, cold, windy April day. It's right on the Hudson River, so the wind's really whipping off, and it's fucking, you're covered in sweat, but you're not running anymore. Like you just want to get warm and fucking eat something and get off your feet. And there are all these fucking, well-meaning idiots there who are trying to present you with things. And then all of a sudden, this fucking Goya tent just launches and goes across the entire paddock, whatever the fuck it is. And you see these people who work for Goya scrambling to grab the tent and replant it on the ground. It was quite comical. Anyway, so that was that. Easter was last Sunday. Happy Easter to all of you. He is risen. He is risen. Got the riz. I went to my sister's brother-in-law's. My brother-in-law. Yeah, my sister's husband's family's place. Yeah, my brother-in-law's. Whatchamacallit, my brother-in-law's family hosted Easter this year, and there was I guess a friend of somebody. There's some couple there, and they're in their 70s or what have you, and I guess they had some history where they had been married. They went to high school or something together. They grew up together. They knew each other when they were young. They got married very young. And then some infidelity tore them apart. And then they wound up getting back together, 15, 20 years later, whatever the fuck. but the guy is outside. Where all the men are sitting outside smoking cigars, having a real bull session. All the fellas, and the guy he's talking about how he's going to buy a new car this week, and after he buys it to celebrate, he's going to get a hooker with a big ass and eat the hooker's ass and pussy because that's what he loves to do. He's got a robust, beyond handlebar mustache, like an old, like Wild West mustache. And I guess he was like a former Teamster or something like that, but just bawdy talk all day on Easter Sunday. And like people are like mortified. They're telling him to stop, to shut up. His wife's in the other room, and the window's open and they can hear you, and he's calling her like a gremlin or a troll or something like that. Well, she ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna apologize for getting a hooker with a big ass and sticking my tongue up her ass. I've been eating hooker ass for 20 years now. Like just going off about how much he loves to eat the asses of hookers, and he also was saying that he enjoys dining on. I try to be as PC as I can about this, but African American pussy. I guess that's the most PC way I can say what he said, and he was describing it, and I believe he was explaining that once you get down there, you can't tell the difference. Which I don't know if. I don't know if that's like, I don't know if the woke left would be offended by that or if they would celebrate that, right? Because technically he's employing sex workers, and he's saying that he is effectively saying that he doesn't see race. But yeah, I don't know. But in any case, it was possibly the greatest Easter of my life. One year I did find the golden egg at an Easter egg hunt amongst family and friends. So that was a big one. But this might have made it the best Easter of my life, was just listening to this guy go off about how much hooker ass he was going to eat and how he only hires ones with big asses because he really likes to get in there. And like, it's funny because typically this is not a bashful group. Like, there will be very, blue and adult humor thrown around. But I'm looking around and like their jaws hitting the floor. And I'm laughing uproariously because this is the greatest thing I've ever witnessed, is this guy just going off at length about how much he hates his wife and how much he loves paying women to eat their asses. But apparently everyone else was quite disgusted by it. But I hope he's at Easter next year. I don't know if my family's going there for Easter next year, but I will be there for Easter next year, just to hang out with that guy again. And what else? What other housekeeping thing do I have before I say howdy to the comments section here? Oh yeah, I found a cold brew spilled in a bathroom stall at work the other day. And it really, really bothered me on a number of fucking levels. And it's not, I don't even know how entertaining this is, but it's the people who bring drinks into the bathroom. At a bar, I understand because, you don't want some guy, some fucking hornball mistakes your beer for the beer of the woman that he's trying to drug so he can drag home and have his way. And all of a sudden you wind up in a bad situation. So I understand bringing the beer into the bathroom at the bar. Plus, people are moving around. You go to the bathroom, all of a sudden your friends are fucking 30 feet away from where they were before. You don't want to leave your beverage unattended under those circumstances. But if we're talking cold brew in a professional environment, like there are high top tables right outside of the bathroom. I put stuff out there all the time so I don't have to bring it into the bathroom. No one wants to steal your stuff. Like no one is going to the table. And maybe if you left some kind of like super pricey or rare, something worth stealing, but generally speaking, no one's jacking your fucking cold brew from that table. So it was very odd to me, one, that someone would bring a cold brew into the bathroom, two, that it was in a stall. Like, there was no mistaking the fact that the cold brew had been brought into the stall. There's no way that spill could have taken place somewhere else and been transported into the stall. And it was the handicap stall, too. And again, we don't have, that I know of, any differently abled people using the men's bathroom at my place of employment. So I have to assume that some guy fucking goes into the handicap stall thinking he's going to enjoy a nice roomy shit, and the next thing he knows, his fucking cold brew is all over the floor and his morning is ruined. But also, he didn't go to any, like, there was no trouble on his part taken to clean it. I mean, maybe he ran out to get the custodian to clean it up, but it was there and there was no one to take responsibility for it. So just a fascinating thing to see. Angelo Z, good to see you. Yes, we are indeed live. Cowster, I don't know, what some fucking desert in Utah, I guess, somewhere in the American West. Blue Straw, good to have you here, sir. Very nice of you to be here. And Wiedenhoff, howdy, good to see you as always. Yeah, how we do, brother man? He greets the comment section, right? As I understand it. Yeah. Yes, Gibbons. That is true. Now, technically, the Starbucks cold brew is a closed beverage because it has that little lid on it. But either way, yeah, and especially a workplace bathroom, there's just no reason to do it. So a few items of note to get to, I guess. The big story that's been going around the past few days, Shannon Sharpe is he is dealing with quite a bit. So he got accused the other day of sexual assault, sexual battery, a whole bunch of other things. Of course, he's also accused of inflicting emotional distress. But I guess the issue is, they had a what appears to be some sort of BDSM relationship. Like there are accusations, I guess, that he dumped. I guess he got inside of her without a condom was one, but they had been having sex repeatedly for quite some time, and then he's accused of choking her and beating her. But there are text messages that are basically her demanding that he do such things. I'm less interested in this. I mean, it's so fucking hard to tell with these situations because, I mean, obviously with the text messages, I mean, it's obvious that there was some degree of consent because she's texting him, calling him daddy, and, asking him to do all of these things and, put a collar on and what have you. But obviously, if you get into that, then it does, I think, make the transition to actual consensual violence. I feel like it makes it an easier jump. Like, it's just easier to slip into that. Like, she says the safe word, but things have been getting a little like I don't know if you can do BDSM if you're in like a volatile relationship with someone, because I think you're coming too close to blending like oh, I choke this woman because it brings us sexual pleasure. You're getting very close to, no, I'm choking this bitch because she's driving me nuts. So it's quite a predicament that Shannon finds himself in. What I'm almost more interested in is everyone on the internet is angry. They seem less bothered. I think everyone sees the accusations and thinks, he's a guy with a lot of money. This is going on a couple years. It sounds like the overwhelming majority, at least, of what happened was probably pretty consensual. Like, obviously, things come out in court and there's discovery, and we'll see where all of this goes. And there are settlements and things get buried, and who knows. But what I have found interesting is because Shannon is, I think he's in his late 50s, and the woman is in her early 20s now. So that you do the timeline, and I believe it has him banging her when she was like 19 or 20 years old or whatever it is. And people are making this is the new thing now, is to make a big deal out of it when an older guy bangs a chick who is in her early 20s or what have you. And I find it to be a particularly annoying take. I think it's a very Karen take. Once a chick is illegal, especially once they hit booze drinking at like 21, I have no issue with the guy saying, yes, I would like to fuck that chick. Like, I always say the litmus test for me, the standard by which we should judge if it's all, if we're going to pass judgment on two people engaging in an act of consenting intercourse or sexual play of some kind, is if both parties were single and unattached, and they met at a Senor Frogs or somewhere down in the Caribbean where things are it's loose, right? We let our guard down a bit. We have a few tequilas, some cervezas, and then things happen. Would you judge either party for doing this under those circumstances? And more often than not, I think the answer is no, right? We have two consenting adults. It appears, at least to a degree, that, they both enjoyed rough intercourse or some sort of dominant play, something like that. Now, again, I think people will have to be deposed, and all of the things that go into legal proceedings for us to really know like what timelines are, and what actually happened, because each side just releases what it wants to release to make the other side look fucking terrible, right? And when you have an S&M or a BDS, I don't know the actual proper application of these terms. I'm not huge into like kink stuff. I mean, I do like if a chick has like a big fat ass, the sight of a chick's like fat fucking rump with just like, that like red blush on it after it's gotten a nice palming or two. Sure, who doesn't enjoy that? But some of the stuff is a little like, let's get to the fun part here, folks. This is the electrodes on the nipples are that just seems uncomfortable. But to each their own. But look, I think most male-female relationships are kind of difficult. Like, there's no one that's like perfectly easy. Like, even the ones, not to say that like every relationship is well adjusted and is not well adjusted. It's like insane and there's fight, but the natural sort of ebb and flow of like, all right, like you're fucking a chick, and then like after a while, like she starts driving you fucking insane. Like everyone has been there before. If you have already introduced this element of violence, and if you're doing a lot of like texting and stuff about it, all of a sudden we have a very, very murky pond to look at when someone says that there was a lack of consent, because you know all she has to do, she doesn't actually have to, with text messages now, it looks bad if you say, hey, in a text message, hey, that thing that we did the other night, I didn't like so much. Like, I that made me uncomfortable. Like that, when that sits in like a chat amongst like other messages where it's like talking about like choking and dog collars and shit, like all of a sudden that makes it look like there's like a shift in the power and everything like that. So we'll see. But yeah, he was Shannon was taking a beating over on Twitter over the age difference thing, which again, look, we pull up a let me see if I can get, she has a so just so we're being, just so it's all out on the table, people are judging Shannon Sharpe for having sex with this woman. I want everyone who would not have sex with this woman to raise their hand. You are a fucking liar if you are telling me that if sex with this woman was an option, you would turn it down. Yes, Wiedenhoff would. Everyone would. Everyone would. This woman has an ass that would turn most, straight chicks, I would never, they would go lesbo for it in a heartbeat. Everyone, Kauster, everyone would eat this chick's ass. Nobody would turn that down. There are, you understand, like look at Bonnie Blue and the other one. People literally line up around the block to bang these chicks. So everyone on the internet saying that that Shannon shouldn't have been doing this we need to hit the fucking pause button big time. Kauster, that's everybody's type. But I do. I am a big fan of a nice posterior. Give me a nice set of cheeks that I can bury my face in. That is what we like. But yeah, it's just silly. It's absolutely silly that there are people out there saying that, what was Shannon thinking? The same thing everyone else is thinking when they see this picture. Okay, bunch of silly fucking geese. I'm enjoying Grover Go Bananas' comment here about growing his hair out just to let a hot fart blow it back. Very, very good, Grover. But yeah, so we shall see. We'll see what we'll see what happens. Yeah, Cass, that's the other. Put a big black baby in her. There's talk of breeding, and then there's like, hey, you aren't supposed to do that. Like, there's so much he said, she said here that it's obviously, you always caveat it with, if a young woman was being horribly manipulated and taken, physical advantage of by a guy with, Shannon's power and his his literal power in the sense that, he has a lot of money and connections and his physical power, then obviously a terrible thing. This just sounds like it was a toxic relationship. Again, we got to wait until all that stuff comes out. But, to say that anyone who is saying that it's in poor taste to plow a chick who looks like that is just an absolute liar. The Kanye cousin thing. Yeah. The Kanye cousin thing. Before I move on, I don't get too into the Kanye thing because I just really don't really care that much about Kanye, but apparently him and his cousin used to look at porn together, and then they would perform oral sex or something along those lines. I never understood we're going to watch the porn together and masturbate together like it's a fucking group activity thing. That never made sense to me. I understood hey, we're going to go get the porn together. Like this is a mission to get the porn. And like, you might peruse it together. Like, hey, we got a good one here. We got one. Like if you found a stash, you might flip through it. But it wasn't like we got the porn and then everyone sat down immediately and just started vigorously tugging away at themselves. Like it was more like, we've got the porn. I cannot wait to get away from all of you so I can vigorously tug at myself. Like it was always, jerking off was always a thing. And I thought we were all on the same page that you were afraid to get caught doing. Like no one ever wanted to get caught jerking off. That's like a funny thing. Haha, you were caught. Like catching someone masturbating is comedy. If that happened to you, you would get made fun of for it. So these incidences where guys are like getting off together and watching porn, and this is very strange to me. I don't understand that. That was not part of my my youth. Something that was part of my youth was engaging in shenanigans. I was a big fan of engaging in shenanigans, and I saw this article, and it reminded me of my days of engaging in said shenanigans. Things like driving around throwing Slurpees at people, eggings, and such. Blowing up aerosol cans was a big one. My friend's mom was an elementary school gym teacher, and so she had this closet full of like old gym shoes, and we would take cans of like WD-40 and you stick it in the shoe, you tie a string to the end of the can, you soak the string in some sort of lighter fluid or an accelerant, and then you light the string from a distance and you duck down behind a car and you just wait for the shoe to explode in the middle of the street. It's a wonder that we didn't fucking maim anybody doing this. Yeah. Anyway, police arrested this guy in Florida, who I guess he pinned an 11-year-old girl to the ground while she begged for her life because he was convinced that she was the one who had been egging his house all week. Marius Mutu faces charges for battery and false imprisonment. He actually looks like a guy I know. He looks like a member of one of my favorite bands, Def Rhino. That's funny. I got to send this to them. Holy shit. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so I guess this guy, he's got a fucking pot belly. They got a still shot from a video of him pursuing her. Takes her to the ground. He's got his arm wrapped around her neck. She's begging. But this was this was always, and what I loved about engaging in my shenanigans when I was growing up was that every time you did shenanigans, whether you were egging a house or something like that, or even back then making a prank phone call, like if you if you prank called somebody, they, you know, you could only use whatever it was, *67 or 1167 to block the call ID. You could only do that for so long before eventually, like if you were prank calling the same places over and over, eventually the phone company would be like, "Oh yeah, this number has been calling you. Here's who it is if they're harassing you." Like what? Like you couldn't get away with it for that long, as we did learn after this guy we used to prank call got a little bit litigious. But like, you know, you prank called someone and they found out where you were calling from, like they would show up. They'd fucking show up, drive by your house. Like it was you. They would call back. Like it would get fucking. There were some tense moments. Certainly got chased a bunch of times. There was a sushi restaurant in town, and we just used to think it was hilarious when the owner would be in there like sweeping up. We would just go bang on the windows and point and laugh at him, and then he, if we did it often enough, he would chase us down the block. He had like a bamboo stick, and he would chase us around the fucking corner, and we thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So like, if you are out and about engaging in this kind of tomfoolery, if you can get someone to physically assault you, it is like a big victory. Let me see if I can pull this. I'll show you, because the guy looks like the kind of guy you kind of want to fuck with. Here he is. You never want a picture of yourself like this to circulate, though. That's if you see the blurred out face here, it's because it's an 11-year-old girl that it looks like he's just mounting, and he's got this angry scowl on his face, and he's attacked a child. So I saw this article, and it just brought back this visceral rush from when I was a kid. And we would do shit like this, and like, the ding dong ditching. Once we got cars, kind of. Um, a TCAP deleted scene. That Rich Voss blurred out. No, she has bigger hands. But there was just this visceral excitement that you would get, and I don't remember getting the feeling as an adult. Like maybe in your 20s or something like that, if you have like an epic night fucking partying and you like, but even that is like a more drawn out thing. The intense rush that you would get after you connected with a Slurpee and nailed somebody, and then you were driving away to flee the scene, was like, it really was like a drug. And I never got caught doing it. My brother got caught. I was in college. It was the fall of my senior year, and my brother was a senior in high school. And him and his friend pulled up in a minivan on some fucking bicyclist, and there was this fucking microwavable soup. Like there was, a pack of them in the back seat. So he just took one. He opened the lid and he doused the fucking guy with uncooked soup. This fucking bicyclist is riding around covered in soup, and he called the cops, and they tracked down the van, and my brother got busted. But like the the intense visceral feeling that you would get when you were trying to escape, and knowing that if you got caught, like, the police were going to get involved, because in retrospect, technically it was assault that we were committing. We didn't think about it back then. We just thought it was just cheeky. But like, it was so good. And adulthood, obviously I don't have a child. I don't know if you have a kid, and maybe and maybe yes, very much, Cowster, in the hey whore, have some mustard vein. And yes, Doug, very much like in Big Lebowski, with little Larry's poor performance on his homework. Fucking and like Dazed and Confused too, like the at the Emporium when they fucking when they soak fucking Ben Affleck in white paint, or when they're out smashing fucking mailboxes with a bowling ball. That, like, I don't know, outside of maybe like combat or something like that, or having group sex with some very attractive women, if you will ever feel like that ever again. Like, maybe some guys do, maybe, if you win the Super Bowl or something like that, but just that incredibly in that sorry, I was getting a little cheebed before the show, but that indescribable rush. Life as an adult just does not provide enough of those. And it's literally like, if the world was going to end tomorrow, I think I would go to 7-Eleven. I'd call up my buddies, the guys I grew up with. I'd be like, hey, look, meet me at the 7-Eleven in Midland Park. We're loaded up. We're going for one last run. I know you guys have kissed your wives and kids goodbye. We are going to go, and we are going to throw fucking purple Slurpees at people in white shirts. We once hit a kid on his way to let's just say it was a worship of some kind, and he was wearing a tiny hat, and we did not realize the sort of potentially bigoted implications of that in the moment. So to him, we apologize, but to everybody else, sorry. What else? I had a couple of other stories kind of lined up here. I got only like 15 minutes left, so I'm not sure which ones I will get to. Maybe this woman who so they keep catching these people who are vandalizing Teslas. It was the funniest thing in the world to me, is just that but people in this day and age think that they can go out and do shit like this because like they're going out and like destroying other people's property, but they live in such an internet bubble that they think they're actually fighting Nazism, and that in time history will look upon them favorably. Like, they think like, oh no, it's okay. I'm going after Nazis, so I can do whatever I want. So this New York City woman who left swastika brick on Cybertruck is woke therapist who blamed Elon Musk for tantrum, which is just terrific. She's a family therapist from Brooklyn, which is just, I mean, I'm so curious. Like, this is why, by the way, like not to go hyper political, but the fact that people like this are working in therapy is why so many kids are declaring themselves trans. Like Brooklyn, the reason that Brooklyn is crawling with fucking non-binary teenagers is because you have all of these fucking Looney Tunes who, they're obsessed with therapy. So they go to people like her who are working with children, adolescents, and their families, and basically she convinces your son that he's really your daughter. Yeah, she has advanced training in maternal mental health. Currently sells therapy worksheets and resources online for parents of children with ADHD, body dysmorphia issues, and anxiety. Yeah, so those are the kids who are like most. By the way, they all have ADHD now too. It's not just that. It's not just that you're locking boys in classrooms and they would fucking they would be better off like running around outside and doing physical shit, and you're just completely feminizing these kids. It's because they have ADHD and body dysmorphia. But she looks like what you'd expect. She looks like fucking if you live in like the North Jersey, like the more Tony suburbs, this is the kind of woman that you run into. Here's what she said. Here's her quote. Surveillance cameras caught Cohen in the act, police said. She not only left a brick on the windshield of the Cybertruck, but she also dumped a bag of trash on the car. By the way, this happened in a largely Jewish neighborhood. This is what she said. Every time I see those cars, I see Elon Musk saluting the country as a Nazi, she told police. I made a mistake because I'm basically living in terror every day that the country is turning into Nazi Germany. I'm truly terrified because Elon was unelected and they're deporting migrants without a trial. Like, these people are fucking nuts. And it's fun. It's fun to me. As annoying as it is, and as much as you don't want him to take office, I do find it to be a lot of fun that these kind of characters exist out in the wild. I wish I came across this more often. If you go in the Facebook page for the town that I grew up in, like I said, the rather Tony North Jersey suburbs, you find a lot of this. It's women in their 30s and 40s, and they have nothing to do really. They're very bored. Life is not interesting. Like that visceral, intense experience I was talking about, like when you throw a Slurpee at someone or whatever, or you have a three-way. That doesn't exist a lot in the adult world, so they do shit like this, but they're stupid. They're not. She didn't grow up doing shit like this. Like, she doesn't know. She's fucking. She didn't engage in shenanigans. This is the kind of chick who, when the boys were engaging in shenanigans in school, would raise her hand and tell the fucking teacher, and then we all get in trouble in the back of the room. Now she's trying to do the shenanigans, and it's not quite as easy as it seems, is it, sweetheart? Well, enjoy your criminal charges and enjoy the next fucking 3.5 years of Orange Man. You earned it, bitch. That's it, Chucky. That is actually a very an interesting theory. I wonder. I mean, obviously, do you think did Elon Musk have the foresight to realize that he was going to become ingratiated with a very divisive political figure, and that people would take it out, that fucking Looney Tunes from Park Slope or wherever the fuck would take it out on his vehicles. And he said, I know what we'll do. We'll make them impervious to petty fucking vandalism. He would be the smartest person on the fucking planet if that was the case. Of course, Doug. Of course, I have seen the Slutmobile episode. Legendary, absolutely legendary. Yes, she does. Her self-selected newsfeed caused her to live in terror. I find that terror to be hilarious. Like the fact that they walk around in sheer terror because of that. Like just the same way that like I find like it, the backwoods, the government is coming to get us, stock up on guns, people, like there's comedy there. This is like the other side's version of that, where they're literally afraid that that the brown shirts are on their way. Yeah, incredible. All right. I think we got through everything we could get through. I'm going to save this one for next time. Yes, Nighttime Conqueror. Indeed. Blame it on Elon. I am going to wrap up. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, off next week. So, if you missed any of the old shows, maybe you go back and check them out while I'm gone. Tell your friends, Sacktap Live at Mike's Golden Streams on YouTube. I will return with stories from the desert, and I may be putting a foot down in Vegas for a night or two. But be well, everybody. I'll catch you next time at Gary_Moyler, MOYLER on Instagram, Twitter at Mike Montone. Have a great night. Have a good weekend. Adios, motherfuckers. Here.